So, Jessi, welcome to the Vermillion Unplugged. How are you doing today?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
So, how are you liking the weather right now? Just curious.
I'm a winter person.
You are?
Yeah, this is my jam.
See,
I like this weather.
Ah, man, see, like right now, like if you see behind me, I have that green jacket. That's my puffy one. So that one keeps me warm. But right now, it's like, man, it's just so cold. But I've seen people like running shorts and without a shirt.
We need a little more clothing than that, but I like this weather though.
You do?
Fall is fantastic.
So what do you think about the summer though?
It's hot.
Really?
It's muggy.
What can you tolerate? Like what temperatures?
I mean, I'm from South Dakota, so we're all the way from 40 below wind chills to 110 heat temps. So
So are you from this area?
no, I'm from up north from Aberdeen. I came to school down here and just kind of stayed.
What did you study?
Mass communication and graphic design.
Oh, how does that relate to? Well, no, let me go to the beginning because I always ask. So, well, Jessi, what do you do?
Oh, I'm a realtor with Maloney Real Estate.
Mhm.
Buy and sell houses, help people find their dream homes, manage properties if someone's renting one. I have my own investment properties as well. So that's my main job.
Sweet. How did you get into the real estate though?
Well, so I had my own investment properties. And I actually, at the time, owned a restaurant, and I'd been friends with Michelle Maloney for years, since college. And she asked me if I had any interest, and we were thinking about getting out of the restaurant business. So I've obviously liked buying and selling homes before she asked, and it just kind of fell into place.
What restaurant did you guys own?
We owned Che's.
Hmm?
It was Korean and Asian food, or Chinese and Korean food, sorry.
Is it right? So right now it's like it was here, right? In Vermillion?
Yeah, it's where Blue Monarch is today.
Oh,
Downtown.
okay. How was that? That's kind of cool. I think this is the first time I talked with someone that was in the restaurant business so far.
Well, it was great. I worked there all through college as a server. And then after college, I moved to Denver for a year. And my husband at the time, he wanted to move back to Vermillion. So did I. And we thought, if you live in Vermillion, you either need to work for the university or own a business. So we decided to buy a restaurant. The owners were looking to retire at the time. They didn't. It's the current owners of Silk Road.
Okay.
So
That name is familiar or the name of the restaurant.
yeah.
Because I remember I think I talked with either Jason or with someone else about it. 'Cause Jason and T are great. I like Silk Road. They're amazing people. They buy a lot of food from us, a lot of tacos. But, speaking of the restaurant, would you ever go back to something like that or open something new? No.
I really like it. I loved cooking the food. I loved working with the customers, but the hours weren't great, which is why a lot of the reason why we got out of it, because I had a 5-year-old, and it just, you go in at 8 in the morning and you're there until 10:30 at night, and it's just a long day.
What or would you say you're a good cook?
I think I am.
What do you like? Well, now we're speaking of food. What's your specialty or what do you like cooking?
I love making Asian food. I love Asian food.
I think Asian food is really good, but I think it's very, very complicated to make.
It's not complicated. It's just a lot of prep work with a lot of different vegetables. Like once you have it all prepped, you can make any combination of dishes with the same ingredients. So it's similar, but it's not, I guess it's not like, I know the food you guys make is, you know how it is.
Yeah.
You prep everything and you could make different stuff with the same ingredients.
Yeah, okay.
Prep work is like a big part of it.
That is true. I know sometimes we'll do, when we stray away from our, Mexican side, we'll try to make like an Asian style dish, with my like vegetables, this and that. So with the noodles, I'll go 2 routes. So we buy our stuff at the Great Wall over there in Sioux City. We'll either use like those type of noodles, right? Then I found out they have these like fresh noodles. I forget what they're called. They're really good. Then sometimes I'll make them. So, but it would just be like with water and just flour. And I like making. Myra's the cook. I'm more of a baker type. I like using flour. I love doing that stuff.
See, that's where I fall short. Like, I can't bake.
Really, you can't?
I can cook, but I can't bake.
Are you one of those people that doesn't follow a recipe and use feeling?
Yeah.
That's what Myra does.
See, I can't like when you have to have exact amounts with baking and time. It does not work.
Really?
Yeah.
I always wondered that because, so Myra, she, like I said, she bakes with feeling. She says there's no measurements. Whatever she does, I don't know how she does it with salsas or with tamales or anything. She just has in her mind. She's like tasting this and that. Me, I have to follow it. If you give me a recipe, though, like that's where I learned, I guess, how to cook or like bake from YouTube. Mm-hmm. Give me the recipe. Take me a few tries, but I will perfect it and it will look like it. But if you tell me, hey, change it up, no, I can't. If you tell me to make like some dish, I don't know, I'll add all these seasonings. For some reason, they cancel out. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And then Myra with baking, she tries it with feeling and it doesn't go that great. Now she's getting better though.
Yeah, it's definitely your strengths are in different areas, whether you bake or cook.
What any restaurants that you like in town? So funny thing, because a lot of people have been asking me, the new Mamacitas? Mm-hmm. They've been asking me if I went this weekend on Sunday. We finally went. A friend of ours, she works there. She's one of the waitresses. She took us. And then, so I want to clarify this too. I'm not against Tex-Mex. I'm from Texas. Mm-hmm. I say this every episode. So if it tastes good, I like it. Myra, same thing. If it tastes good, she's like, we tried Mexico Viejo. It was good. I like it. There's another restaurant that a friend of ours owns in La Marche called La Fiesta Charra. Really good place. People want to go. We tried Mamacitas because we had these Victoria went, our daughter, she went there with a friend and then she brought back just the chips and salsa. For some reason, those chips weren't that great or the salsa. This time, for some reason, they changed it up. The chips were good. The red salsa, me and Noah were just talking about it. It tasted better. Last time it was like some tomato based. This one was good, or it was fine. Then Myra asked if they have another salsa, something that's spicier. They do. So I recommend people.
Ooh, that's good to know.
Yeah. So they have if you ask for tomatillo salsa.
Okay.
It is spicy, but I thought it was really, really good. It's not that spicy where, it's too hot like a hot sauce. No, it's really, really good.
That's good to know because I go to El Tapatio and get their habanero sauce on the side. Like, you have to ask for it. It's not anywhere on the menu.
Yeah, for some reason, you got to ask. The same thing over there in Lamar's, I got to ask them if they got something else. So, yeah, go behind the scenes. Okay. Now, what I ordered their burrito mexicano, I believe. I was just going with just a regular thing they got. I didn't like it, and I'll explain why. It's probably the ground beef on it. Of course, this stuff isn't like authentic, but it's fine. But I didn't like it. The tortilla, I'm very picky on flour tortillas because my wife makes it. Yeah. I can't eat it from the store because it has this weird smell. Mm-hmm. But overall, I was like, But Victoria ordered chilaquiles, and I think you could pick the salsa maybe. But she ordered green because she asked, and they said, yeah, we can make the green salsa or green chilaquiles. Really good. They weren't spicy, more of like an acidic, but they were really, really good. So chilaquiles were amazing. Myra ordered, and I forgot what it's called. But it comes in a molcajete, if people want to know. It's like a mortar and pestle. And there's chorizo. They have regular carne or steak, beef. And there's some shrimp. I don't know if it came with chicken. I don't know. But it came with cactus or nopales. And it comes with, pick your tortillas. That one was actually really good. I was very surprised, especially on the meat part. And then our friend, she ordered, I don't know what it's called, but same thing, I guess like a type of steak. It was just the carne. And she gave me half of it. And I was thinking it was going to be tough. It was good. And actually, even with the fat, usually sometimes you'll have like this chewy fat. It's one of those like type of fat where it like melts in your mouth. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that was actually really good. So I don't know what happened. My dish, I wouldn't recommend the burrito mexicano, but everything else, good. Service was good. Beautiful place. Yeah. Overall, I give it like an 8 out of 10. I would go to it.
Yeah, I've been there a few times. It's a nice addition to Vermillion for sure.
Yeah, it's really nice. I was very surprised. The music, also I think they changed something up. And I think it's good because when they opened, well, I guess, that's how it happens. The quality right now, I think it's better. Their music selection is amazing. I like it. I like the music. But the first time when we drop, because sometimes we'll take our friend, we'll drop her off further to work. You can hear the music, and I don't know. It was just like this country. I'm not against country music, but it just didn't fit the theme.
Yeah.
But now overall, I like it. I don't know. But is there like any other places that you like to dine into?
Oh boy, there's a lot of places. I like Cece's a lot.
This is good.
Yeah. If you want, we go to Bunyan's for steak tips often. And I haven't tried the new, I think it's pronounced Shake Kwan, where our pizza was.
Yes.
But the pizza looks really good. We want to try that soon.
That one just opened
That's Friday.
That's Friday.
Yeah.
They have a soft opening. I just saw the menu today at work because Lucy was telling me. She said if I saw the menu, I went, because I heard whenever this is broadcast, I was talking with someone that worked at our pizza, and then she said that someone bought it. They don't know if they were gonna make more pizza, but now I guess
Yeah, so we'll see what else they do.
Yeah.
But then David Beverly, my friend David Beverly, does food out of Cow and Spoon on Tuesdays and Thursdays over the lunch hour.
So that's him.
Yeah.
Oh snap!
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to find out where he is on like social media, because I wanted to ask him if he could be on here, because I want to talk to because he's like a private chef too, right? Or
yep, he does private meals as well.
How come he doesn't have a restaurant? Or is it better like how he does it?
I don't know. I mean, he's just a one-man show, so maybe it's just, running a restaurant, it's a lot of work. So, yeah, I think he just likes to do the private events where it's a little smaller scale.
No, okay.
Manageable for one person, probably.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I can give you his contact info. And
okay, that'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we've had a few people ask if we would ever open up a restaurant. I don't know. It's a lot of work, especially because right now we're not even doing a food truck. It's just a stand. That's how they do it in Mexico. Just keep it simple, and it's the prep time. I love it. I enjoy it. When we do their stuff, but the prep time, the cleanup's fine now. But man, that prep time, it takes us like a day in advance. And I'm like, man, it's a lot of work, but I do enjoy it a lot. Some things that we're going to do, and right here in Hillside in December, because last year we did it a few times. Myra gave this cooking class for tamales here at the church. And it was cool because she was teaching them. They made the tamales and then they served them for their Christmas Eve service. And people were asking, oh, that's really, really good. And I'm like, well, we didn't really make it. Like, y'all guys did. Like, you guys did. So that was kind of cool. But I think we're going to do that on December 22nd. And then we're also going to do tacos again, but we'll do it here. We're just doing this fundraising trip for the Dominican Republic. We're going to head there. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes in February. Another thing is Katie from the brewery. I contacted her because last year we also sold tamales there at the brewery. And it was great. It was amazing. We asked her if we could do it again. She said, yeah. She said if we were interested in doing some ticketed dinner event. And we're like, yeah. Myra I think she has a game plan. She said, she told me the appetizer. I don't know if she said just like chipsy guacamole or something like that. But she was either debating same thing, tacos, or just something different, like pozole. It could be a green or a red pozole. I love pozole. Yeah. And then also for dessert, I made a tres leches before. So something like that. Something I like keeping it, I want to say that authentic, but I want people to taste that side of us. Yeah. Especially like at when I asked my friend or our friend from Mamacitas, because I said, what do most people order around here? She would say the basic, enchiladas or stuff like that, which is fine. But she says she's had a few people ask, saying, hey, do you guys have tacos de lengua or menudo or stuff like that? But of course they don't sell it. I'm like, see, there are people that want to try it.
There are. Have you been to La Juanita's in Sioux City?
Which one? There's two.
The downtown one.
That's
the one on Pierce, I should say. Pierce and 19th.
Is that the one that's in technically Iowa? Not South Sioux?
No, this is just north of downtown.
My location is like way off because So this is in South Sioux, right?
No, not the South.
Okay, it's the other one.
Yep.
Yes. And have you tried the other La Juanitas?
Yeah.
Which one do you like more?
The original by downtown.
Are they the same people?
I think so. Because they also have one in Lamar's.
I don't know. Okay, I did it.
I tried to get them to come to Vermillion before a long time ago, and they're like, "We just opened Lamar's. We can't."
See, I like, and I told everyone keeps asking me about La Juanitas. We tried both of them. Actually, the first time we tried was the one in South Sioux because that's where we usually go, and then we tried the other one because we heard about it. So the La Juanitas in South Sioux City, we actually like it a lot. It's really good. The other one, that one, I think we need to try it again. We didn't hate it, but I guess we had so high expectations, like really very high. We were like, oh, I mean, it was fine.
Yeah.
So I think we need to go back. It's because we heard everyone saying, "Hey, La Juanitas in Sioux City." So I need to give it a shot. But I was very impressed by their we ordered the food. Like you can see if people go there, like it's like a assembly line. I saw people. There's cutting cilantro. Someone's doing cebolla. They're making the meat. This and that.
It's impressive.
Yeah, we ordered. I swear, we ordered all this stuff. I leave. I sit down, and like 30 seconds, boom, the food's up. I was like, whoa, that is fast.
Yeah, I mean, but when you see the mound of onions and they're working with, it's crazy.
Yeah, but I need to try it again. It wasn't bad, but I think we just had so high expectations. I think we are just expecting it's gonna be like the best thing ever. And then I was like, I think the South Sioux was better, but I need a different mindset. I do that. We try something, and I'm like, but I'm like, no, let's try something else there, because I guess like every restaurant has something that's not up to par or something different, different flavors and this and that. Have you tried? It's called La Momia.
No.
So that one is, I want to say it's north in downtown, but it looks ghetto. But usually the ghetto places are pretty bombing. But yeah, like you head there, there's like these like apartment housing complexes. You got graffiti over there. Actually they kind of updated the stuff. Now they got their when you do the when you do the drive-through, it was broken down. They actually remodeled it. But they got like bars on the windows and this and that. I think it's only cash only. I don't know if they speak English, but we order in Spanish. The food's amazing. I would say, have you ever tried a panbazo?
No.
So if you ever go there, just order a panbazo. You probably won't see it on there, but like once you order, they also have like other items past there. I don't know why they do that. But a panbazo is, think of it like I guess it depends. The one they have. So it's like kind of like a torta. It's the bolillo.
Okay.
But inside they put like refried beans. They put I forgot what kind of meat. I think you can pick the meat, or it's just chorizo or carne. It has meat. And then they'll put some lettuce. They'll put a type of queso on it. And then on top, they'll put like a crema. But the panbazo is the bolillo, the bread. It's, I would say, how do you call it? It's drowned in a salsa. Like it's dipped in either like in a salsa or like in an oil type of thing. In Mexico, my tia, she would make it for this fiesta they had. They're more smaller though, and they're either filled with like beans or with potatoes, and yeah, they have like, it's a red salsa. It's really, really good. Okay. So I don't know.
Trying new places. I'll do it.
Yeah. So I need to go back, because we've been talking about food a lot. It happens a lot. See, that's why I said we go off topic. So, but I want to go back to mostly about real estate. So with real estate, I'm very curious. What do you guys do?
We, I would say we sell houses, but really we sell community. We have to convince people that this is where this is the best place to live, and why Vermillion is fantastic, why you want to be here, why it's a great place to raise kids or go to school, just live. It's easy. We're in between two larger cities. Well, three actually, if you count Omaha. So, it's easy to get to a big city without having to live in it. So, yeah, I mean, so I think we, realtors sell the town more than they have to actually sell a home. Because I mean, if you're looking at homes, homes are homes, but you have to love the place you live.
For the past few years, we've been checking houses. Right now, we got a game plan, but we've been checking it. And another thing is, so in town? There's 3 different realtors, right?
Yes.
It's y'all, then there's Premier, and then there's Dakota, right?
Correct.
Now, are y'all guys? I just want to ask, are y'all guys enemies or not really? Everyone's like pretty friendly.
No, we're friendly.
Oh, okay. You're the first person in real estate. I've contacted the other ones. I've known. Do you know someone named Nikki Peters?
Nikki Peters?
Yeah, she's great. She's great. But I think you are the first one because I wanted to talk about real estate or housing. I guess some of the housing stuff. Anyways, let me go back to the topic. If I want to, let's say right now, I wanted to buy a house, but I don't know what I'm doing. Let's say it's my first one. How does that work? If I contact y'all, or what would those steps be for someone?
I would say when people come to us, we advise them to go talk to a lender first and find out what price range of home they can look in. Then the lender will go through and tell them, talk to them about interest rates and down payment plans. And when you buy a house, there's a thing called points that you can buy at the end.
Where you
interest points that you can buy to drop the price a little bit.
Yeah.
For your monthly payment. And, we like people to know the monetary aspect of what they can afford and what is feasible before we start looking at homes.
Why is it so different after 2020? Because I remember when we moved here, so we moved here in September 2020, and I guess it was like 2021 where we saw like houses, they were just like gone. Like,
yeah,
you would see only like a few and boom, they were gone. But it happened not just here, like throughout the U.S. But like, why did it do that?
Interest rates were insanely low.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, they hit. Some people were getting 2.25%. I think I've talked to a few people that got 2%. So it was kind of like free money. It was really hard though for first-time home buyers and veteran loans to get approved or accepted from the seller because the appraisal is a lot more stringent than a conventional loan. You have to make sure that there's no chipped or peeling paint and that the roof's in good condition and it's not a fixer-upper, essentially. But supply and demand really drove that market with what, people were on lockdown and a lot of them wanted to be out where there was space. And so we saw a lot of people from California, New York, crowded cities calling to kind of just be out in the open in South Dakota. So that was, because then people could work remotely and they could keep their job and pay a lot less for housing here with land as opposed to something in New York City or California.
Okay, that makes sense. And I was always wondering, I was like, why is people buying a bunch of houses?
But then also these people in the States, like with more expensive housing markets, they would sell their home and they would come in and they would be able to just buy a house with cash because it was so much cheaper here.
Okay.
So, I mean, I know that was a lot of how Vermillion.
So I guess, okay. So tell me if this is like a good example. So let's say, let's say I'll use California because I know how I've seen their prices. So let's say I could sell a house. You could probably sell a nice house there for like $500,000. Let's say.
Oh, easy. I mean, probably a lot more.
So let's say like $700,000.
Yeah.
Boom. And then during that time, if you could sell like that, and I want to work remotely, and I look here, I mean the houses aren't. You could get one for let's say a nice one, $300,000, $350,000. Since I could buy it cash, it'll probably be a better offer than like let's say someone looking for like a first time home buyer or like a loan, right?
Yeah.
Ah man, okay.
Because with cash, you don't need to have an appraisal if you don't want to, and you also don't need to have an inspection if you don't want to. We do recommend that you always have an inspection, especially if you're not familiar buying a house. But if you do get a mortgage through a bank, you have to have an appraisal most of the time.
Is it difficult right now for, let's say, like young people, for I guess first time home buyers? Do you think right now it's very, very difficult, or probably no, just same things you gotta save, or how is it? What's your opinion?
It's tough to say. Vermillion's a unique market with the university here because the university doesn't pay property taxes and the rest of the property taxes get split among everyone else, which is why we have a higher property tax base. So it does make it more expensive to own your home. And with the drive up on pricing for homes back in 2020 and 2021, what would the $150,000 starter home, it's hard to find, especially one that's in good condition. Because usually if you're a first-time home buyer, you'll get an FHA, first-time home buyer loan, where you get a lower interest rate to help you with that. But one, it has to fit the appraisal where everything has to be in working order and in good condition. But then also there's a ton of other people looking for a $150,000 home.
Oh, so you got to just compete with other people too?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. That's,
so it's trickier. It's getting better. We'll see what this next year brings, but.
Okay. Another thing I wanted to ask, I've been asking some people, but there's always different answers, but maybe you have the better answer since you've been in the market. Cause I always wondered, I don't want to say there's like I guess there is like a housing shortage, but also in different areas. But let's say here in Vermillion, why would there be a housing shortage if wouldn't builders be like, oh yeah, a lot of people are looking for houses, let me build more houses because there's always a demand here because town's kind of growing, it's a university, you got professors, this and that. Aren't they like, what's the word, aren't they like, don't they see like, oh yeah, let me
see
build
potential
more.
Of
homes
ahead of time?
Or is it probably way more complicated than I think it is?
Well, right now we have to find land to build on, and we're an ag community, so we're kind of landlocked by farms. And until you find farmers that are willing to sell their land to be developed, it's more difficult. Out in the Jack Powell addition, where the new courthouse is being built, there will be open lots there. There will be some for multifamily housing and then for single family housing as well. Bliss Point still has some lots available. And then the Jolly School District, where they're tearing down the school, they'll have lots there. But there aren't a whole lot of areas to develop in Vermillion. I'm on the chamber board, and we're kind of trying to figure that out right now with Grow Vermillion and raising some money so we can earmark it for land purchase.
Okay,
so.
That was one of the things we were talking about because I was doing an episode with Veronica Schmidt and also with Taylor from Core Trust, and we're talking about the housing stuff. And yeah, well, I mentioned because now I'm checking everything. So yeah, you mentioned like the Jack Powell, the still got Bliss Point and Jolly, and then now like right behind or the area where Ace Hardware Store is at, they're gonna hopefully
there'll be townhomes over
that one. Also, Betty Smith told me, I think that's all on Play Talk too, because she told me that on that episode that she also has a plan, hopefully, that they're also gonna make some houses, stuff like that.
Yeah.
One thing though, and I am very curious because I see the housing, but I see those because a duplex counts as a multifamily home. Does that count or not really?
No.
Oh no. Okay. Maybe they'll switch it up because I see duplexes and I always wondered why build duplexes because don't most people want to live in a single family house, right?
Some. I mean, we have people that maybe want to downsize, like empty nesters where the kids are gone and they don't want to take care of a ton of yard. The homes are usually a little bit smaller and more manageable. We have young professionals, and those are usually cheaper to buy than a single family home, especially when it's newer construction. So the duplexes and townhomes are a nice option.
Oh, okay. I didn't even think about downsizing and or the lawn maintenance. I didn't even think about that. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean that's a lot of it, and it's the price tag is usually a little bit better. So
okay.
Different reasons for different folks.
So do you think in a few years probably it'll be better with the housing maybe? Or maybe, hopefully, or...
I mean, I'm optimistic. I like to think so. There's always opportunity, right?
Okay. I know with us, it's been... Because we have a different situation. Well, I guess I can explain that later on. But going back to the real estate stuff. No, actually not. Because Kevin Brady recommended you, of course. And he said you're a fantastic person, because you want, especially because of the business that you had. Is there any other like plans or anything you would want to do, or do you think real estate's like the only thing?
Real estate's my focus right now, but I like side projects, right? I like different boards, and my daughter's 14, so I like to help out with the booster board for the athletics in high school. She's a golfer, so I do that. And
What else are you involved in? Because you mentioned you're on the board with the VCDC, right?
yes, that, and so VHS booster I help with, and then I think that I guess I'm in Rotary. I used to be on a lot of different boards. I'm not on so many now.
No, it sounded like I don't know if you know her. Her name's Amy Schweinley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because when we were talking, I told her, I'm like, man, you're in everything. First, you're the dean. You're also in farmers market, and then she told me that she's also like in 4-H and this and that. I'm like, man, there's a lot of people, because not just y'all, but a lot of people are, I guess, very involved, which I guess is good. There's a lot of stuff you guys do.
Yeah, there's a lot of different groups that are in Vermillion. I mean, I used to be on the Cultural Association board. I was a programming chair for that, and then I was on the Art Council at one point, and the Historic Preservation Commission. So, yeah.
So, speaking of, I guess since we're talking about the town, I'm gonna ask this too. I like asking. Is there anything that you would like to come to town? And I'll tell you, people keep saying they want a Taco Bell or a Target. That's what I've heard. But is there something that you're like, oh, you know what? I wish there was this, or oh, it'd be kind of nice if there was this or something.
I wish we had more industry here. And only because if we have that, I think the possibilities are limitless on what else we could have. But we have to grow the population. But we need housing, and we need childcare.
Yeah.
Then we need industry. So it's kind of like chicken and the egg. What comes first? So I guess in a very non-fun answer, I'd like to see some more of that. Like if we have the university here, and I wish we had more like medical research offices. Something that people could have a professional career at instead of just working at the university.
That's another thing that I've talked to a lot of people about with the university. So I work at the med school, and it's very fascinating. You got all these smart people. I'm not smart, but all these other smart people that I work with, and they're doing, like, there's a professor, or my boss, he does stuff with viruses. There's another professor that does stuff with cancer. The previous professor, or in the lab I always worked with, does stuff with heart disease and this and that. You're like, oh snap, you got all these like smart people. And then like the students, the grad students, some are from here, some are from other countries. They're doing research, they're doing surgeries. There's another guy, I think he's from, if I remember right, there's a bunch of international students, but like he's actually technically a surgeon, but he has to get a PhD to qualify as a doctor. You got all these smart people. And I always wonder, I'm like, how come, where do you guys go after this? Because they do like the town. I say this all the time. They love it. But they say the same thing. They're like, there's no jobs here. I'm like, yeah, it's so surprising because y'all guys have got the only like med school med school in the state. Well, law school. I believe the business school. I don't know about, someone said nursing, unless that one's split.
That one Brookings has as well.
Okay, Brookings. Okay, there it is. Yeah. But I see the rest, like, yeah, if they had like more medical research thing, or if they I worked in a little bio thing before COVID, stuff like that. Yeah. It was. But see, that's one of the other options that you could do, like, because you're an entrepreneur, you could open up a biotech company here.
Except I know nothing about the medical field.
No, I think me neither. I don't know anything. But you know what's cool though? I swear when I started working there, or when I worked there, I think I learned more in those, how long did I work for? Like 2 or 3 years? In those 3 years than I did throughout my studies. And I guess it's hands-on. Like, you get to do these, research, write a paper. I did mouse heart surgery, stuff like that. I'm like, oh snap! You learn all this stuff hands-on. But that's what I was thinking. Like, you don't need to for example, like also with the food stuff, with the tacos, I didn't know how to cook or this and that. I still probably don't. Or like opening up, like, you know, I didn't know how to do the permits or the tax thing, and then you just figure it out throughout the way. Same thing with this stuff. Like, I didn't know how to work with all the equipment or how this and that. That's what I'm saying, Jessi. You could start it. I'm trying to convince people to do it. Like, hey, you guys have this idea. There's a friend of mine. His name is Mark Buska. I mention him sometimes. Very, very smart. I think he's like a genius. He has this, I guess throughout these years, so his idea, his plan is he wants to cure aging. And he says that, if I remember right, I think he figured it out, but you got to do like more research or testing and all that stuff. But he showed me like the data and all this stuff. And I'm like, hey, well, why don't we open up a biotech company or something? You know, like there's people doing that. So I'm trying to push him to it. But another thing is, because he already has it. This is what I've mentioned it too. Like, well, if we're talking about industry, and tell me if it's a good idea. Someone said yes. For example, let's say there was like, for example, a biotech company here. People would say, oh, do you got the labor force? I would say yes, because you got these grad students. Technically, they're already trained. That's why they go to the other companies, other cities, because they're also going to a biotech company to do it. They already got the training. They got their PhDs or masters or whatever. If you need someone that's like a head honcho, you got these professors, because some of these professors, they say they would love to also own their own business. I guess it depends on what point they are or what point in life they're at, but you already got someone that does it. And then I would imagine like, hey, well, if you got this little company here and people graduate, you know, now they don't have to leave. They'll be, oh, let me stay here. And then it starts growing this and that, and it starts attracting people. If it attracts more people, then other type of businesses open. Oh, yeah, well, maybe another restaurant, or, hey, you know, we're growing. Let's open up that, I guess, Target or whatever, Taco Bell that people want. So, but that's my idea. But the thing is, I guess it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, you just have to find somebody with the funding to get it going. But that's the battle, right?
Does Maloney have that funding for opening up a biotech, or probably not?
You might have to ask her tomorrow.
I'll ask her tomorrow. But before I end it, because I think we might run out of time, is there any last things or plans for you or for y'all? Are you guys going to be in that, what's that thing called on December? The Parade of Lights? Or do you guys do anything like that?
We haven't in the past, but I know Michelle was a judge one year, and, you know, my daughter was young, so I would always take her to it. But now that she's older, maybe we'll have to put a float in it this year. And
I liked the Parade of Lights last year. Well, I guess people said, because the other years, it was kind of, I guess, smaller. Last year, I thought it was a nice size. Mm-hmm. And that's strange for me, coming from like a bigger city. Usually I'm like, this place is kind of small. And it was actually good, but people were saying, oh, it's because the weather was good. I don't know if the weather was good, because for me, it was freezing. But hopefully, I like that stuff. Like, it was really cool. Ribs Rods got a little more bigger. Hopefully there's plans. Clay County Fair, they also have other plans. They want to expand. The same thing. I think it's like a land issue. If they had more space, but everything costs money.
Yeah.
But besides that, is there any last things or anything you want to give out?
Well, you know, if we still have our Grow Vermillion campaign, and I have to do a plug for that, of course, because if you want to see all these things happen, you know, you need to contribute and be a part of the community and help us grow it.
Sweet. Cool. Well, thanks for being on, Jessi.
Thanks for having me.